Hey everyone! In this video we're going to break down common interior design mistakes that make everyday living super inconvenient. And we'll do it using Pinterest interiors as examples. Let's dive in. Alright, here's the first interior. The style is subjective, of course, but there are a few things that really bother me. First up, those beams. I'm not a fan of fake ceiling beams. If you're aiming for a Venetian or Italian style, skip the faux beams. They just look fake. Beams that weren't part of the original structure don't look good. Either use real wood or go for an exceptionally high-quality imitation. Next point. Okay, you added beams, but this tiny gap, it looks super weird. There's the golden ratio to consider, that's 62 to 38. It's a natural proportion that's universally pleasing and found everywhere in nature. Like the ratio in finger joints or the DNA spiral, the Greeks and Romans used it, and it's the foundation of our understanding of beauty. Next point. The curtain. I don't like that there's a gap in the curtain here. There are special systems that can make the curtain go straight up. You can add a little panel. A panel made of drywall works great to hide the curtain. So you might need to lower the ceiling a bit to create a bigger gap between the beams. What else bothers me here? This built-in light is throwing me off. First, don't place lights around the perimeter. Secondly, if you're going for an Italian or Venetian style, they didn't have recessed lights. They had a chandelier in the center. Recessed lights around the perimeter just look odd. What are they even highlighting? What's the functional purpose of this kind of lighting? If the goal is to highlight plants, you should place a light below them, or at least directly under the plant. Then you'd actually get some nice emphasis on the plant. Moving on to the next point. A mirror opposite the bed. This won't be comfortable for everyone. Imagine waking up at night and seeing a reflection of someone getting up from the bed. It's creepy. Next interior. Wow, such a riot of colors. Okay, it looks nice. Honestly, I really like this interior. There are a few things I like about it. First, the interior is all white and the colorful accent pieces are in the furniture, which you can always replace or swap out. That's why this is a smart approach when creating bold interiors. Keep the base white and make the furniture, the replaceable part, bright and colorful. Tired of it? Swap it out. It's a cool interior. I'd happily spend a night there. Even the concrete ceiling has real concrete elements, not some fake concrete texture on the walls. There's an actual column and structure here. It looks super cool. Authentic, not fake. A bold 5 out of 5. So what kind of Japandi do we have here? The picture is beautiful, I like everything, but this wooden frame around the bed is risky. You can easily bump into it. Those bumps can be quite painful, making you curse and remember the designer who came up with this bed frame. People will keep hitting it, and that needs to be taken into account. That's why I don't like using wooden frames. They're just dangerous. So, beauty or functionality? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Another light, pleasant beige interior. I've got a question for you, friends. There's no gold in this interior, right? If there's gold somewhere else from other angles, then it makes sense. But if it's only on this ottoman, it's better to replace it with a wooden base or something else like a chrome base so it reflects the rug and gives the impression that the ottoman is floating. These light fixtures here look somewhat out of proportion. I would, for instance, make them 2 larger ones. I'd move them here, perhaps like this, maybe 2 different ones slightly repositioned like this. Another thing I don't like about these fixtures is those spots. Built-in mounts look much more aesthetic and elegant. The back wall is also too cluttered. I'd maybe remove this stripe and make the frame slightly larger. The interior gets a B-. Fix a few flaws and it'll look okay. There are some clear Asian influences in this interior. I really like it. I love these lights hanging at different heights. It creates a sense of movement in the interior. If you want to add rhythm, you can use wall-mounted lights or hang lights at varying heights. Visually, it creates a dynamic flow in the space. I like the light wood and the minimalist Asian-style interior. I'd probably give it a 5-. There's nothing overly wow about it, but everything is clean, neat, and well thought out. And those branches in the vase look fantastic. What's this here? Looks like some kind of Asian-inspired spa with a focus on nature, Japan, and Asian culture. This style is becoming super trendy right now. I think this will soon become overdone and start to fade, but for now, it's at its peak and still trendy and cool. Zooming in here, why didn't they align this? They should have made the cabinet lower. When designing interiors, you need to think about alignment. everything should line up on the same axis. For example, if you have a cabinet, it should align with the adjacent shelf at the same level. It's a great interior with cleanliness and order, but in real life, it's going to end up with a ton of little bottles everywhere, ruining all this beauty. So if this isn't a hotel room, you need hidden storage systems to tuck away those little bottles and keep the minimalism and order intact. How do you do that? You can use niche systems, semi-open storage. Create niches that aren't visible when you enter the room, but when you reach in, you can access items stored there. It's convenient for quick access and doesn't create visual clutter. Here, we have a freestanding bathtub. When you install a freestanding bathtub, the first thing you need is a shower cabin for rinsing off after the bath, because freestanding bathtubs aren't convenient for washing up. Water splashes everywhere. That's why you need a separate shower where you can step out of the tub and rinse off. The next question is about functionality. Where's the drain here? The drain is where the water flows away. With a freestanding bathtub, water splashes everywhere and you end up with puddles. So I'm not sure this has been thought through properly. The floor is wooden, some kind of wood material. Usually if a wooden floor is used, it's done with a removable wooden platform that's easy to replace. Think of it like a sauna or steam room setup, like a wooden grid with tiles underneath, sloped for proper drainage. Here, they just used a wooden floor in a wet area, and it doesn't look great. What could be used instead? You can use wood look tiles. It's a bit of a fake look, but there are some great tiles and textures available now. So I'd give this interior a 3 for functionality. It looks pretty, but there's not much functionality. This interior is probably overused by now. If I'd seen something like this in the 2000s, I'd have said, wow, that's cool. The backsplash is made of glossy tiles that mimic parquet flooring. Second, the wooden countertop, paired with black elements. This used to be super popular and trendy because the light wood paired with black fronts makes the wood look even lighter. Edison bulbs, another overdone trend, and of course, these black mounts. In such cases, recessed mounts are typically used. My big question is, why install these lights around the perimeter? What's the functional purpose? Aesthetically, it just looks like you've placed lights along the perimeter. It's not functional. This needs to be changed, so I'd give this interior a 3 as well. Next interior. I can't say anything good or bad about it. It's also out of style. A beige interior, a strange sofa shape, looks cheap, and the TV is mounted way too high. The TV is mounted at a height meant for lying in bed. When you're lying down, your head tilts back, so watching the TV is comfortable. When you're sitting on the sofa, your eyes are level, so the middle of the TV should align with your eye level. Here, the TV is mounted too high because the fireplace is below it. The fireplace could have been made smaller since it's clearly not a real one. This whole structure could have been reduced in size, fitting the fireplace into it. Depending on whether there's a table for watching TV, the TV could have been mounted lower. The lights are also questionable. Is there any functional purpose, or is it purely decorative? Friends, when designing a ceiling, here's what's trendy now. The goal is to draw as little attention to the ceiling as possible. You can use concealed lighting behind curtains, reflected light, or pendant lights over functional areas. But the ceiling should have a minimal number of fixtures. And if you do add fixtures, they shouldn't just be scattered around the perimeter. They need a functional purpose, or just go without ceiling lights altogether. In other words, avoid drawing attention to the ceiling as much as possible. What do we have here? Soft panels. Looks like some kind of hotel room. A small question about the perimeter lighting. It's unclear why they're even needed. I'd just remove them. It would look better. Concealed lighting along the perimeter could provide the main illumination. If technical systems are needed, they should be planned out on the ceiling in alignment with furniture or access lines in the room to maintain overall logic. On one hand, some lines here continue the headboard design. Okay, but there's some inconsistency here. I'd probably raise this shelf to align it with the windowsill, and I'd get rid of this upper pull-out section. I wouldn't say this is a super cool or impressive interior. It's about a 3+. The bathroom. From a functionality standpoint, I like this solution. Let me explain why. Because we have one unit where both the shower and bathtub are located. A drain is installed around the perimeter, and it's all within this one unit. So if you're splashing in this bathtub, the splashes just drain away into the same drain. So from a functional standpoint, it's great. What I don't like is that the bathtub is too close to the wall. Ideally, the bathtub should have been slightly smaller and set a bit away from the wall. Next point, there aren't any concealed storage systems for placing bottles, because in real life it's going to get cluttered here. There will be stuff placed here, and it'll be filled with colorful bottles and other items. So I would have added niches, perhaps extending them behind the glass. Maybe some kind of shelf mounted on the wall as well. That's where you could keep all the bottles. This way, when you enter, you don't see all those bottles. I would have also moved the mirrors forward. And on the side of this mirror, if you look inside, I would add a storage system with shelves inside. So you could reach in there, like I have at home, or a mirror that opens to reveal a storage system inside. Overall, from a functionality perspective, it's good. I like the lighting here, which either mimics natural light or actually uses natural light on the ceiling. I also like how the towel placement is thought through. Excellent, functional interior. I'd confidently give it a solid 4. The next interior is a decent, solid one. I like that the wardrobe on the left is done in a single color, wrapping around to create a unified volume. It's a bit outdated, probably from around 2010. How can I tell? Because the Calacata marble is an overused material that has fallen out of popularity. It doesn't look too bad here since it's proportionate and well placed, like the upper light fixture here. Personally, I wouldn't draw attention to it. I'd go for a built-in solution. But it looks fine since it fits proportionally with the light fixture. It's not cluttered with decor, the decoration is well done. It's a good interior. I'd give it a 4+, but it's a bit outdated. Outdated because it was designed during the era when these loft-style elements were trendy, but now they're going out of style. I also like this interior from a functionality standpoint. You can see sliding doors that fully separate the kitchen to keep out odors. A classic interior, nothing special with overused Calacata marble on the wall. I like classic interiors, more restrained, a kind of modern classic, although I also enjoy palace-style designs. What works well here are the high ceilings combined with the classic style. I don't really like the cornice being the same color as the cabinets. Maybe it should have been white to match the ceiling. It would look better. I'm not a fan of the surface-mounted lights or their placement. They're not aligned symmetrically. These small lights, I would have made them a bit bigger and probably used 3 of them. There's an overload of small details in the decor, on the table and everywhere. It feels like it needs to be calmer. I can't say this interior is super stylish, it's just classic. Nothing wow, more like an average 4-point. Everything looks nice, real concrete, but why didn't they make the washing machine built-in and hidden behind panels? It would look so much better. What I do like is the niche made for the hood. It looks cool and unique. I like that the existing structures are preserved. It's not fake or microcement, but looks authentic and great. I don't like slanted floors, but they're often used, I guess, to hide parquet seams. This is a wet zone and there's no tile here. Maybe part of it could have been tiled to make it more functional. But often, if the space is small, it's better to use one consistent flooring style rather than breaking it up into zones with different materials. The interior gets a 4, mostly because of the washing machine. So, what do we have here? This is a small sofa located behind the bar counter. A few things bother me, like those back chairs in the far corner. What's their purpose? And the built-in ceiling lights? They draw way too much attention. The 2 materials in one line also seem odd to me. What's good here? It's nice that the sink and the island are concealed by a tall partition. The downside is that the sink is placed too close to the sofa. If someone's cooking or doing something, it feels like they're practically sitting at the table. That white column seems out of place to me. Maybe it would look better clad in wood. It could create a cohesive look, with one continuous wooden surface blending with the cabinet, then a step leading to a different wood or stone surface for the wall. I didn't like the floor color. It looks cheap and brings down the whole interior. See this black strip here? It's some kind of ventilation system. I would have designed it so that the ventilation system is invisible, like the setup I have at home. Here's how the ceiling is done. If we need to lower the ceiling for some equipment, we create a step-like design. And here is where we place the ventilation system. When you're standing on the floor and looking around, you don't see the shadow gap system. It's hidden. That's how it's done in my home, and it effectively hides these slotted profiles. I have some doubts about this niche, but if something nice is displayed there, then it's okay. What's this? Overall, it's beautiful. I like everything about it. I really love the combination of modern style, where contemporary furniture is placed in a classic, well-designed interior. The only issue is that the fireplace is blocked by the sofa. Typically, a fireplace is designed to be the centerpiece of the composition. That's why I would probably move the sofa to the other side, so it faces the fireplace and this painting. I would also raise the painting a bit because it's placed too close to the fireplace. I'd give it a 4 just because of the layout. It's a beautiful interior, but these arches feel a bit overused. Actually, arches are evolving right now. They're becoming more digital. Imagine you have this kind of arch, but it's being narrowed down. These types of elements are now frequently used in architecture. I recently attended an exhibition in Singapore and made a video about trends in design and architecture, using this exhibition as an example. If you're interested, check it out. Architectural trends tend to stay popular longer than interior design trends. However, architectural trends often influence interior design because the building defines the internal space. The interior space is always connected to the exterior space. Interiors inspired by architecture tend to be more timeless, so you can confidently incorporate them into your design. And this style with digital arches, the narrower ones, is very popular right now. This technique can definitely be used in interiors. So with this arch, since the mirror needs to be large for functionality, I would simply change the arch's proportions. I'd make it like this and it would instantly look more stylish. When the mirror isn't placed opposite the sink and someone is standing here washing up, they can't see their face. So it's definitely better to position it directly opposite. There will be clutter here because there's no storage system. I'd add some kind of closed storage system to keep things hidden. And here we have a transparent bathtub. Transparent colored bathtubs are a very trendy thing right now. It looks good, but the black faucets are overused and water spots are very visible on them. The table is a bit overused, but a table like this is necessary for this kind of bathtub. I might lower this shelf a little bit. I'd also replace the table and change the faucets to a different color, like white. By the way, I'd make this part of the shower white so it blends with the ceiling. Now, what's this bad 2000s style interior? The built-in furniture looks like it's from a cheap furniture store. The axes don't align. The division of the cabinets should align with this division. The wood color cheapens the look. The door handle looks cheap. I'd use a black handle, for example, to blend it with the door. The baseboard, another cheap-looking interior, slats, an overused solution. I'd give it a weak 3. This looks like something Asian-inspired. I don't like the sofa. The sofa is too plain. I'd replace it. The tree should be moved, put the pot over here, and place the tree here. In such interiors, shelves look better when they stand on the floor, rather than being wall-mounted. Let's move on. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you did or not. Based on your comments, we'll decide whether to keep making such videos or not. That's all. See you in the next videos. Bye-bye.